In this video, we delve into 5 chilling cases of American tourists meeting their demise in foreign land. These aren't your average vacation horror stories. They're the most disturbing deaths abroad that have left investigators baffled and families shattered. Each tale reveals the darker side of traveling beyond borders. So join us as we uncover the unsettling truths behind these tragic events, raising questions about safety, justice, and the unknown dangers lurking in foreign destinations. It was a peaceful afternoon in London on March 22, 2017, when tragedy unfolded within the bustling streets and iconic landmarks. Kurt Cochran, a 54-year-old American musician, and his wife Melissa were immersed in the vibrant atmosphere of the city, their laughter echoing against the backdrop of historic architecture. Little did they know, their simple day would soon be damaged forever by an act of terror that would resonate across the globe. The Cochrans, celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, went on a European adventure filled with dreams of exploration and cherished moments. Their love, seasoned by years of companionship, radiated warmth amidst the cool London air as they strolled hand in hand along Westminster Bridge. Kurt's eyes sparkled with admiration for his wife, Melissa, the epitome of his lifelong dreams and aspirations. As they neared the majestic silhouette of Big Ben, their peaceful stroll was shattered by the revving of an engine, a chilling prelude to the impending danger that was about to happen in a few seconds. In the blink of an eye, Khalid Massoud, driven by malice, drove a rental car into people walking on the bridge. In the midst of the chaos, Kurt instinctively acted to protect his wife, Melissa, putting himself in danger to keep her safe. In an act of unparalleled bravery, Kurt pushed Melissa to safety. His actions were done out of pure selflessness and love for his wife. Melissa, propelled to safety by her husband's courage, bore witness to the harrowing scene unfolding before her eyes. The impact was swift and merciless as the car struck Kurt, launching him over the bridge's parapet, his body plummeting toward the cold waters of the River Thames below. As Melissa lay injured, her husband's sacrifice to save her was successful, but it cost him his life. Across the Atlantic, in the peaceful confines of Utah, Kurt's life was celebrated through the halls of Onion Street Studio, the culmination of his lifelong passion for music. His dreams of rock stardom may have remained unfulfilled on stage, but his impact resonated in the lives he touched. In the aftermath of the attack, as the world mourned the loss of innocent lives, Melissa's grief knew no bounds. "He was my best friend, my husband, and my everything," she whispered, her voice trembling with sorrow. Kurt's absence left a void that could never be filled. As the inquest unfolded, the courtroom bore witness to the chilling reality of that tragic day. CCTV footage captured the fleeting moments before tragedy struck, immortalizing Kurt's act of heroism for posterity. Witnesses recounted the chaos and devastation unleashed by Massoud's rampage. Through it all, Melissa remained steadfast. Despite her injuries, she found solace in the memories of a life shared with Kurt, each cherished moment a sign of their enduring love. As the inquiry drew to a close, the world paused to honor the memory of Kurt Cochran, a hero who sacrificed everything for love. What if Kurt had not acted with such bravery? What if Melissa had been left to face the car's impact alone? In a world plagued by darkness, Kurt Cochran's selfless act of heroism serves as a beacon of light, illuminating the path toward a brighter future. It was a bright spring day when Sergio Luis Feliz Mancebo and his 9-year-old son, Joser Luis Feliz, went on a trip from New York to the Dominican Republic. The date was April 19, 2023, a day that would leave a permanent mark on their family's history for all the wrong reasons. As they landed at Chibao International Airport in Santiago, the promise of a joyful spring break trip lay ahead of them. Little did they know, their lives were about to be irrevocably changed. Joser, a bright-eyed 4th grader from the Bronx, had eagerly been looking forward to spending some time with his family in the Dominican Republic. The trip was meant to be a chance for him to connect with his roots, to bask in the warmth of familial love, and to create cherished memories with his father. However, as they made their way from the airport to their destination, tragedy struck with sudden and brutal force. What was supposed to be a simple trip was shattered when their vehicle was besieged by a gang of robbers. In a moment of sheer terror, Sergio, Kioser, and their driver found themselves caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Refusing to succumb to the demands of the assailants, the driver pressed on, hoping to outmaneuver the looming threat. But their defiance only seemed to stoke the flames of violence. In a hail of bullets, the innocence of a young boy was brutally extinguished. Amidst the chaos and confusion, Kioser found himself at the mercy of a bullet that tore through the vehicle, striking him in the head with devastating precision. Sergio, a father driven by love and desperation, could only watch in horror as his beloved son bled out before his eyes. Rushed to the nearest hospital in a desperate bid to save his life, Kioser fought valiantly against the odds, but the wound proved too severe. The damage was too profound. Despite the best efforts of medical professionals, there was nothing they could do to stem the tide of tragedy. As news of the senseless shooting spread across the Bronx and beyond, grief rippled through the community. Friends, family, and neighbors struggled to come to terms with the harrowing reality of a young life lost to violence. In the days that followed, the wheels of justice began to turn. Law enforcement officers worked tirelessly to apprehend those responsible for the heinous crime. Within hours, 5 suspects were taken into custody, their names forever linked to the tragic events of that tragic spring day. Luis Angel Vargas Brito, Delin Javier Mercado Martinez, Cesar Junior Ulloa Cuevas, Jose Manuel Amante Santana, and Elian Martinez Sanchez. Their identities etched in infamy as the perpetrators of one of the most heinous crimes in recent memory. But amidst the grief and anguish, questions lingered. What drove these individuals to commit such a senseless act of violence? Was it a random act of robbery gone awry, or was there a darker motive lurking beneath the surface? Interviews with Julian Feliz, Kioser's uncle, provided a chilling glimpse into the disturbing truth behind the attack. The charged individuals, Tomas Peña Morel Tomasito and Derlin Javier Mercado Martinez, were not merely strangers, but trusted acquaintances with deep ties to the family. Morel Tomasito, in particular, emerged as the mastermind of the ill-fated robbery, exploiting his intimate knowledge of Sergio's movements and vulnerabilities. As the truth unraveled, the facade of innocence crumbled, exposing a web of deceit and betrayal. What seemed like a random act of violence was, in reality, a calculated betrayal by those closest to Sergio and Kioser. It was December 2023, a seemingly ordinary day in the Bahamas, as the gentle waves lapped against the shores of Cable Beach. Amidst the crystal-clear waters and swaying palm trees, Lauren Erickson Van Wart, a 44-year-old newlywed from Boston, Massachusetts, went on what was supposed to be a blissful honeymoon with her beloved husband. Little did they know, their simple paradise would soon be shattered by a harrowing encounter with one of nature's most powerful predators. Lauren, a dedicated textbook editor with a passion for mathematics, had tied the knot with her partner just one day prior to the tragedy. They had chosen the luxurious Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort as the backdrop for their celebration of love, seeking peace and privacy as a couple in the beauty of the Caribbean. However, fate had other plans in store for them. On that morning, Lauren and her husband ventured into the crystal-clear waters off Cable Beach, eager to explore the breathtaking marine life that the Bahamas had to offer. Equipped with a paddleboard and brimming with excitement, they paddled out into the open sea, unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. As they glided across the waters, laughter and joy echoed between them, their love buoyed by the gentle rhythm of the waves. However, amidst their carefree bliss, a shadow stirred beneath the surface. In an instant, the morning turned into a scene of chaos and terror. A predator, swift and merciless, emerged from the depths, its primal instincts driving it to strike with deadly force. Lauren, caught unaware, found herself ensnared in the jaws of a shark, her screams of terror drowned out by the waters of the ocean. Witnesses on the shore looked on in horror as the tragedy unfolded before their eyes. A lifeguard stationed nearby sprang into action, his heart pounding with nervousness as he raced to the couple's aid. With swift determination, he navigated the treacherous waters, his rescue boat cutting through the waves. As he reached the stricken couple, the lifeguard wasted no time in pulling them aboard, his hands steady despite the chaos that surrounded him. Yet despite his efforts, it was too late. Lauren had suffered grievous injuries to her right side, her body battered and broken by the savage onslaught of the shark. Emergency services arrived on the scene, their expressions grim with determination as they fought to save a life hanging in the balance. CPR was administered in rhythmic compressions, a desperate attempt to revive a body ravaged by a violent assault. Despite their efforts, it was all in vain. Lauren Erickson von Wart, beloved wife and esteemed colleague, succumbed to her injuries, her life extinguished in the blink of an eye by nature's fury. The once tranquil shores of Cable Beach bore witness to a tragedy that would haunt the memories of all who beheld it. In the aftermath of the tragedy, grief rippled through both the local community and Lauren's colleagues at Curriculum Associates. Rob Waldron, CEO of the company, expressed profound sorrow at the loss of a cherished colleague whose dedication to education had touched the lives of many. It was August 3, 2023, a day that began like any other for Adrienne Vaughn, the esteemed president of Bloomsbury, USA. She and her family, husband Mike White and their 2 children, went on a vacation, seeking relaxation from the demands of everyday life. Adrienne Vaughn, a woman of remarkable talent and passion, had dedicated her life to the world of literature. As the head of Bloomsbury USA, she had overseen the publication of countless bestsellers, including the beloved Harry Potter series. Her love for storytelling and commitment to excellence had earned her widespread admiration and respect within the industry. On that fateful day, the Vaughns had set out on a rented speedboat, eager to explore the stunning coastline that Italy had to offer. Little did they know, tragedy lurked just beyond the horizon, waiting to shatter their idyllic day. As the speedboat glided over the water, the family felt at peace, laughing and enjoying the beautiful scenery together. However, they were unaware of the danger that lay ahead with their boat driver, Elio Persico, who was impaired by alcohol and cocaine. Persico, tasked with navigating the vessel safely, was allegedly distracted by his cell phone, oblivious to the dangerous path ahead. As the speedboat approached a larger sailing boat, chaos erupted in an instant. The vessels collided with a deafening crash, sending shockwaves rippling through the air. Adrienne Vaughn, who had been basking in the sun on the bow of the speedboat, was thrown into the water with jarring force. In a heart-wrenching moment, she collided with the propeller of the sailing boat, sealing her tragic fate. The horror of the scene unfolded before her family's eyes, leaving them paralyzed with grief and disbelief. Frantic cries for help echoed across the water as witnesses rushed to the aid of the injured. Adrienne's husband, Mike White, fought against the waves to reach his wife, but it was too late. By the time emergency crews arrived, Adrienne Vaughn had slipped away, her life extinguished in a moment of senseless tragedy. News of the incident shocked the literary community as colleagues and admirers mourned the loss of a beloved leader. Bloomsbury Publishing issued a statement expressing profound sorrow at the passing of their esteemed president, whose legacy would endure and serve as an inspiration for generations to come. Questions lingered in the air. How could such a tragedy have occurred? What led the skipper of the speedboat to operate the vessel under the influence of drugs and alcohol? And why was he allegedly preoccupied with his cell phone at the time of the collision? Italian authorities launched an investigation into the incident, seeking answers to these pressing questions. Blood tests confirmed the presence of alcohol and cocaine in Persico's system, painting a damning picture of negligence and recklessness. However, despite these discoveries, the full extent of his culpability remained unclear. Adrienne Vaughn's family, devastated by their loss, called for justice to be served. They entrusted the Italian authorities to conduct a thorough investigation, hopeful that those responsible would be held accountable for their actions. As they grappled with their grief, they clung to the memories of a woman whose passion for literature had touched the lives of so many. What if the skipper had refrained from consuming drugs and alcohol? Could the collision have been avoided, sparing Adrienne Vaughn and her family from the unspeakable tragedy. As the investigation unfolded, these questions lingered, haunting the hearts and minds of those left behind in the wake of the devastating boating accident. It was a balmy morning on March 30th, 2024, when Gail Matson, a spirited 79-year-old woman from Minnesota, went on what she anticipated would be the adventure of a lifetime. With her characteristic enthusiasm for exploration and a heart full of anticipation, she joined a group of fellow tourists for a game drive through the sprawling expanse of Kafue National Park in Zambia. Gail loved to travel, and everyone who knew her was aware of it. She was an active member of her Minnesota community and was famous for her adventurous nature and endless energy. Whether she was planning church events or taking part in her bridge club in Sun City West, Arizona, Gail lived her life with a contagious enthusiasm that motivated everyone around her. The safari in Africa had long been a dream of Gail's, a final trip to mark her 80th year. Despite her age, she remained undeterred by the prospect of venturing into the heart of the African wilderness, eager to witness the continent's renowned wildlife in its natural habitat. With her daughter Rona Wells by her side, Gail set off on a journey that she hoped would be the crowning achievement of a life filled with exploration and discovery. As the safari vehicle traversed the terrain of Kafue National Park, Gail's excitement grew with each passing moment. The vast savanna stretched out before her, teeming with life and possibility. It was a scene straight out of a nature documentary, with towering acacia trees dotting the landscape and the distant silhouette of grazing antelope on the horizon. However, amidst the tranquil beauty of the African wilderness, danger lurked in the form of a lone bull elephant, separated from its herd and agitated by the presence of the approaching safari truck. Unbeknownst to the tourists, they were about to encounter a deadly force of nature that would shatter their idyllic adventure. In a horrifying moment captured on video, the massive elephant charged toward the unsuspecting safari truck, its immense form a blur of fury and aggression. Panic erupted among the tourists as the elephant closed in, its thundering footsteps echoing across the plains. "Oh my goodness," one tourist explained, while another noted, "It's coming fast." The game ranger, realizing the impending danger, braced for impact and brought the vehicle to an abrupt halt. But the elephant, fueled by rage, was undeterred. With a swift motion, it swung its mighty tusks, hooking them under the bodywork of the truck and flipping it onto its side with terrifying force. The tourists, trapped in the chaos, screamed in terror as the vehicle toppled over, their once-in-a-lifetime safari descending into a nightmare. In the aftermath of the attack, the true extent of the tragedy became apparent. Gail Matson, the vibrant soul whose enthusiasm for life had brought her to Africa's doorstep, lay among the wreckage, her dreams shattered by the brutal force of nature. Despite desperate efforts to save her, she succumbed to the injuries inflicted by the enraged elephant. As her loved ones grappled with the shock of her untimely passing, tributes poured in from friends and family, painting a portrait of a woman who lived life to the fullest. She had told us that this safari was going to be her last big adventure. Her friend John Longaboth recalled, his voice tinged with sorrow. "To be honest, I don't know if she'd slow down or not, but at least you wouldn't be traveling as far, probably." For the other tourists involved in the terrifying incident, the scars, both physical and emotional, would serve as a haunting reminder of the dangers that were hidden and present while exploring in the wild. Wilderness, the company responsible for the ill-fated safari, expressed profound sorrow over the tragic event, extending condolences to Matson's family and offering support to those affected by the incident. As investigations into the attack unfolded, questions lingered about the circumstances that led to such a devastating outcome. How could a routine game drive turn into a deadly encounter with one of Africa's most iconic creatures? What factors contributed to the elephant's aggression? And could the tragedy have been prevented?